Welcome to LAC Podcast. You are here with me, Shunjit Atiwalakun. Students find it difficult to give a presentation in front of classrooms. They feel anxious, worried, and nervous. I also felt that way when I was young. Many years ago, when I was an undergraduate student, I felt that I needed to speak out every single word of my script. It was totally wrong. Then, I took two speaking courses, one in Thai and one in English. My teachers were great and supportive. However, I found the courses challenging. I couldn't give a presentation. Although I thought that I was a very talkative person, I couldn't speak out my mind in front of others. Things seemed to jump around and chaotic during the presentation at that time. When many people were sitting and staring at me, I could feel my heart beating. One day I thought to myself, this was not going to happen again. I strongly believe that there on the stage or in front of others is the place where I want to send my messages to the audience. Today, I would like to share my experience for everyone who would like to be confident for their presentation. Based on my experience, it is essential to have a script to outline ideas of the presentation. Speakers who do not have script are the experts in that field or those who have nothing to say. Whether it is fully scripted or an outline, don't forget to rehearse. I rehearse as many times as I can for any important presentation to make sure that I send the messages that I want. I also rehearse to make sure that I will speak in a good pace. However, I will not read from the script because I will pay too much attention to the script, not the message that I want to send. The scripts also make me forget what is next that I want to say. Alright? When I go back to the presentation itself, what I always remember from my teachers, especially from Ajahn Lee Quick, who passed away long time ago because of lung cancer, was that I need to have a structure or organization for my presentation. I think he is right. To organize a presentation, apart from telling the audience my name, never forget to start the presentation from telling an interesting story or asking a question to grab audience attention. In classroom, I find that students prefer to go right straight to the topic. For example, I'm going to talk about my topic is that's not very interesting because it is a bit rushed. It makes audience who have different background cannot connect to the talk. In other contexts such as international conference, speakers from around the world use different techniques to get audience attention at the very first few minutes of the talk. Telling an interesting story or asking a question is one of the techniques they use. Recently, I have joined an international conference called Thailand TESOL in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Before my presentation slot, I joined a plenary talk. The speaker was from Lilo, U.S. Embassy. She started her talk by telling a story before going further into the presentation. The audience were all listening and enjoyed the talk. Then it is important to stop using today I'm going to talk about my topic is and change into something else to get the audience attention. During the presentation, I would try to make it conversational. What I mean is that I try to use the simple language or words that help audience understand my topic. This also helps me create good relationships with them. Most of the time when I hear students read from the script for a presentation, it comes directly from textbooks or learning resources. The sentences are long with many difficult words that they don't understand. It is not natural and make the presentation uninteresting. When it comes to important parts, I may pause a bit before I continue. Or use word traits to signal that this part is important. Also, I always look at the audience. Students normally find it stressful. It is not normal in Thai context to look at people in the eyes too. But I don't think so while giving a presentation. I look at the audience in the eyes to see their reaction and attention. Moreover, I use hand gestures to make my talk connected and natural. It will be helpful not to use unnecessary gestures because they can be confusing to the audience. After listening to my talk for some time, perhaps the audience forget the very first part of it. I always end the presentation with a summary to make sure that the audience will remember my talk. I try to make it short but meaningful and memorable. I also signal the audience using "That brings me to the end of this presentation," not just "stop" or "thank you." That a bit of rush makes the audience forget the talk in a few seconds. In classroom settings, it is not normal for friends to ask questions to speakers after the presentation. In another context, they do. At Thailand TESOL Conference, there were 3 questions after my presentation. 2 from Thai audience and 1 from international audience. What I did was to be a good listener and try to hit to the point. I felt grateful for those questions because I learned that they were listening and my topic was interesting. I can also use the questions for further investigation because I am a teacher. Well, just to recap, to give an effective presentation, speakers should have a script, rehearse, and organize their talk. I hope that my experience will be helpful for anyone who would like to move further with their presentation in English confidently. Remember, practice makes perfect. This is the end of this episode. Hope to see you in the upcoming episode. Bye for now.